You can access 4 of the internal zincs by taking the covers off. So you have 1 internal zinc here, 1 here, 1 here, and then there's 1 on top. There's more internal zincs in this engine, but you have to tear the engine apart to get to it. But it's a good idea to replace these every so often. So to change the internal anodes, we need a 14, 12, and 10 millimeter socket. We have a cloth, Phillips head screwdriver, really long needly nose pliers, orange or blue thread locker, vice grips, a soft plastic brush that will not scratch the metal. We have the exhaust and valve cover internal zincs, the grommets to that, you should replace the grommets, the gasket that holds the zinc onto the bracket, and then the top internal zinc. I also ordered a new screw because salt water, and then a new gasket for that top screw, which you can see right here. You also need grease so you can grease these grommets, but not shown here. To remove this top zinc, we could use a 14 millimeter socket. So let's try and get that off. There we go. Now we can pull the ratchet off. The threads feel a little crusty. There we go. That looks about ready to be replaced. The hole looks pretty clean too. If that's dirty, you could always take a vacuum and vacuum that out. Now let's move on to the others. Now we could use a 12 millimeter bolt to undo this bolt. This is actually holding the zinc on, so do this one last. So now let's crack this loose. Pull this by hand out, and then you can twist that a little bit. Let's take a look how this one looks. Look at that. So notice what happened here. There's a rubber grommet that goes around here, but it actually got stuck in the engine. You can see it right here. Make sure you look for that, because if you double gasket that, it'll leak all over the place. Look at that. See the rubber grommet? That was supposed to be on there. Good thing we got that out, chat. Let's look in the hole. Hole is super clean. If you do these often, it'll really not get dirty. But yeah. All right, onto the spark plug ones. All right, now we're gonna take this one off. You can see we gotta move the spark plug wire a little bit, but let's keep in mind if that grommet stays on there, because that would be Ohio vibes. All right, to the left, you could hear how tight that was. Bolt looks good. Now we could use one of these very long needle nose pliers to rock it side to side. There it goes. Look at that. That's pretty dirty, but you can see, look, I lost the grommet. The grommet's up in there too. So let's get that out again. Let's see if we can grab it with our needle nose. Actually, I'll just stick my finger in there. Look at that. See the grommet came out? Remember, don't forget. And that hole looks super clean too, because these have only been on for 120-ish hours. And the sealing surface inside feels good too. All right, now this is the last zinc. This is just, you know, down below. I'm stopping the clip because I can relock the autofocus so it doesn't go out of focus. Because every time I see videos of working on stuff up close, it'll try and focus on like the ratchet, but you don't want to see that. All right, ready? There we go. That looks like it's almost out. And I'll just do the rest by hand. Look at that. Are we going to be 3 for 3 with these grommets? It looks like we will. Look at that. See, it's stuck in there. There's the other zinc. You do not want that to get stuck in there. See that? It's all the way in there. This looks pretty clean too. Nice. All right, now let's work on the zinc packs.